they squared off last night. The best record in the NBA was on the line. And ring, 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 ring. Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, they answered the call in this one. Brian, we're going to pick this up with under 8 minutes left in the second quarter. Cunningham crosses up Cason Wallace, who's been playing great for OKC. Nails that one.
He wanted to get going early on, and he did. And they had their great two-man game like you're going to see here working all night.
Gives it to Jalen Duren, the little lob. The Pistons outscored the Thunder, by the way, 36-18 in the second quarter. That's OKC's worst point margin in any quarter this season. Of course, we should mention OKC's shorthanded here, but under 8 minutes left in the third. Nikola Topic gets a big block there by Cunningham.
That was a big-time play,
Yeah,
man.
That was certainly a big welcome back.
Defense,
and then Duncan Robinson able to lay it up and in, makes a little reverse layup there. And then a minute left in the third.
Nothing easy when you play Detroit.
Absolutely not. Cunningham gets the loose ball going coast to coast for the layup. Detroit, as you mentioned, once again, defense to offense, dominant in the third. And then Windy, watch Aaron Wiggins here. Crosses up Robinson and then knocks down the cool jumper.
Yeah, they didn't give up on this game. They could have easily, and they fought all the way to this last minute.
Whoever is in uniform for OKC, they play hard, but Detroit just had a little bit more in this one, getting the friendly roll, and then 33 seconds left here. Robinson passes it to Cade Cunningham, who finds Duren for the slam. The Pistons go on to win 124-116. So after going a career worst 0 for 8 in the fourth quarter of Monday's loss to San Antonio, you mentioned it. Cade Cunningham was looking to get going, and he bounced back last night. 13 points, 4 of 6 shooting in the fourth quarter alone. Hey, Perk, what did Cade show you?
Well, he showed me a lot. And hello, world, and happy Thursday. He showed me why he's one of the top leaders in my MVP conversation. Because after coming from his worst game of the year against the San Antonio Spurs, you know what he did? He bounced back in great fashion, especially in the clutch. And with guys like Cade, for as elite guys, they study film and they learn from it. Watch this great screen by Jalen Duren. He has the patience, and all of a sudden he drives to the side, get to the elbow, get into his mid-range game. But here's the key point. They have Duncan Robinson on that side, so Cason Wallace is not able to help. Here it go again. OKC in the clutch sends a double team at Cade. Cade backs it out. He spins. He has the patience. He sees the gap. He drives in for the little float off the glass. When it comes to being one of the best clutch players in the game, Cade Cunningham is that dude. And I want you to see these numbers that he has been putting up over this time. We're looking at 20 wins, first in the league, points, fourth in the league, tied for third in assists. That is clutch, and that's what Detroit Pistons are going to need moving forward when they're trying to get to where they're trying to go.
Well, Detroit is certainly making folks pay attention in the East, and you know who is looking that way in the West? The San Antonio Spurs. The Thunder, they need to look out. I mean, whenever Wemby's on the floor, you need to look out. But they just won their NBA best 10th straight game. Here's how they got it done. We're going to pick this up early in the second. Brian Victor with the steal. Spurs push it the other way. Dylan Harper finishes the jam.
No dribbles again. Defense to offense. The best teams do it.
And then going into the fourth, the Spurs were actually down 12 entering this frame here. Murray Colin Boyles looks to get inside, but when Wemby's there patrolling the paint, you just got to be careful.
He is good. Colin Murray Boyles is tall, too.
And that was no jumping there. And then Steph Castle finds Victor Wembanyama for the nice, easy lob.
It's easy to find.
Comes San Antonio. Under 4 to play. The Spurs now up 3. Wemby. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that.
Ray Allen style.
San Antonio up 6. De'Aaron Fox, how did he get this to go? Up and over the backboard. Yeah, he's Mr. Clutch for a reason. The Spurs up 4. And then a final chance here for Toronto. Down 3, 8 seconds left. Brandon Ingram, he gets a good look here.
It's a Brad Stevens play out of bounds there.
Plank hits the side of the backboard. The Spurs, they come from behind. They escape with a 110-107 win. Count them, 10 in a row. And we're now 97 days away for anyone who's a planner like me, putting things in their calendar right now from the NBA Finals. Brian, you're even more of a planner, though, because you told our friend Scott Van Pelt last night, Perk, did you know he's already making his hotel reservations for the playoffs for the finals?
That way. I know Perk that.
What are we booking?
All right, I'm going to come clean. I actually made the hotel reservations in San Antonio 2 weeks ago, but I just was willing to.
For June?
Yeah, for June. I know what the dates are. All right, here's where I got hotels. I got hotels in 3 places, Malika. I made them in OKC months ago. All right, so You're not. I'm staying where I want to stay in OKC during the finals. You ain't getting. By the way, I got restaurant reservations in OKC.
Okay.
You want into the place where I like to go?
Reservations coming in hot.
After game one, you got to talk to me. All right. Don't quite have don't quite have spots yet for dinner in San Antonio. But I know where I want to go. And I got my hotel, Malika, because Victor Wembanyama is such a special player that he breaks all the rules. Normally, I would say I am not going to believe in a team that has 0 playoff wins as a group that is going to win 12. Because you know how hard it is to win 2 playoff games, much less 12, especially in the conference finals. But Victor breaks all rules. Okay, now, I have them in Boston. But let me just say there's a little bit of an asterisk. The World Cup is in Boston.
Okay.
And I know that it's in Foxborough, but the Europeans and the South Americans are not going to stay in Foxborough. So I also believe that if Jason Tatum comes back, that puts the Celtics a leg up. I am believing that World Cup hotels are going to be hard to get, and that Jason Tatum is going to be a difference maker.
Okay.
All right. That's where I got the hotel reservations. Now, there's a watch list. I checked the rates. I know where I check the rates, where I can go. And there's a list, and I'm not looking them all in these places. Cleveland. I know the hotels in Cleveland, all right? Cleveland, Detroit, New York, and Denver. I've checked availability, Malika.
He's made a list.
No reservations have been made. But I think that I really think that we're going to be in San Antonio or Oklahoma City in June.
Well, look, I could just send you my reservations to San Antonio because I booked that 3 months ago.
You did not.
I did. I did. You wasn't on set, but Malika and Shanae was on set when I told the world that the Spurs are legit title contenders, and because of all the points that you highlighted. This young man, Wemby, has an old soul. I don't give a damn about playoff experience at this point. You know why? Because this team is also on a mission, and they're 2 games back.
He has been saying that.
They're on 2 games. They're 2 games back, and they're going to get the #1 spot in the Western Conference because
we just saw just how close they are to Oklahoma City.
Hell yeah! And listen, when you don't have experience, you know how you make up for that? By having as many home games as you possibly can on your home floor in the postseason. That's how you make up, because we know role players play better at home. Wemby has shown us he don't give a damn if he's playing in France, San Antonio, Beaumont, Texas, wherever it's at, he's going to be Victor Wembanyama. And so, with that being said, we're looking at the Denver Nuggets, who doesn't look healthy. Yep. Oklahoma City, who's not healthy. The Spurs team is legit, and it's a reason, Malika and Wendy, that you haven't seen me on Wednesdays with my jacket on.
With your Thunder jacket on?
I'm going to tell him to keep a cool booty on this, because I actually feel
my booty is never cool.
I feel like it's okay. The Thunder are doing. I got Scott fouled. The Thunder are doing fine. Okay, like look. If Shea's not playing in May, then we got a problem. But he's going to come back. J-Dub is going to come back, and look at the opportunity for these young guys.
But I watch you all the time. I watch your podcast, and I watch you on other shows. You said something on First Take today that, hey, because Jay Will and Stephen A was somewhat disrespecting the Eastern Conference, you said, hey, let's not act like the Pacers didn't take the Oklahoma City to 7 games.
And you can see how different it is with SGA on the floor for them versus when SGA's not there.
No, right. I mean, look, and that's why he's one of the best, if not the best player in the world. But again, that Game 7 on OKC floor, they better be. I'm
going to tell you, I do not know what would have happened, even on Oklahoma City's
It's one of the
floor,
biggest ifs, because we're always going to say.
I'm just going to say.
But if ifs were fifths.
The Thunder have some good stuff going. Casey Wallace is playing well. Jalen Williams had a great game last night. Nikola Topic is recovering from cancer, and he's getting an opportunity to play real minutes in games. Who's to say that they may not need him in a playoff game in the
I'm with you, Wendy, but I'm just happy that you're finally aboard. With
you know what? I would like to say that he is wrong about that, but he has brought me around on this one. I got to say he might have been right. How are the hotel rooms in Beaumont? Are they good? Because that's
he may be making an outside reservation there. Perks worked himself up into a lather, into a sweat over there, so we're going to take a little break. It's actually.
Hello, world, and listen, this list is going to have a lot of people in their feelings, but guess what? I don't give a damn.
There better be an Oklahoma City Thunder player here.
It ain't better be nothing. It better be something that I want, damn it. Jaylen Brown.
This is a list. For the list, may I invite you guys over here where you will be educated in the way I see it. I respect Jaylen Brown, but it is not a crime to say that this guy is so good that he is 6th in MVP voting.
It most definitely is a crime, Wendy. It's a felony if you want me to be exact.
Perk, the judge, the jury there. So Kendrick's MVP favorite, Jaylen Brown, last night taking on the 3-time MVP in Nikola Jokic. Second night of a back-to-back, by the way, for the Nuggets here, rather for the Celtics.
Oh,
just
Perk, he learned that from watching you.
Must be another Perk.
There is only one Kendrick Perkins.
Bottoms.
There's only one Nikola Jokic. Brown gets to his spot, knocks it down.
They don't call push-offs no more.
He is one of the greatest mid-range shooters of this era.
Jokic gets it, knocks down the 3. Jokic happened to do this, by the way. You noticed Jamal Murray left the game early with an illness here. So then the third quarter coming to an end here.
Mid-range, Perk. He's like one of the best going, seriously.
Jaylen Brown. And then the final seconds of the third, Jokic loses it, gets it back. Sometimes I think that's how he prefers it.
It's crazy.
The Nuggets starting to pull away here. And then Jokic putting the finishing touches on this one. False movement, swing, gets that one to go. Again, Nuggets really starting to feel comfortable here, and then Jokic drives.
I love the quick spin on the block.
That's Daddy Ball.
Finished with 30 points, 12 rebounds. The Nuggets defeat the Celtics 103-84, and Jokic got the better of Jaylen Brown. Both MVP candidates, so they led their teams in points and rebounds. Jokic led all players from both teams in points, rebounds, and assists. No surprise there. As our Hall of Famer, our senior writer, Mark Spears, joins us as well. I'm sitting with 3 voters here. Mark, what ultimately is going to decide the MVP this season?
I always look at winning. I mean, we always see what the best talent is and stats and this and that, but winning helps. And I think one thing that's going to help Victor Wembanyama is not only passing the Oklahoma City Thunder, but I think they could pass the Pistons, too, to have the best record in the NBA overall. And if you look at his stats, he's averaging 24. He's 5th in rebounds, number 1 in blocks. If they get the top record, how could you not give it to Victor, who could become the first Frenchman ever to win MVP of the league and could ultimately join Tony Parker as the only 2 Frenchmen to be Finals MVP as well.
Sacre bleu. All right, we're already looking towards the final. Got a little jump there. Finals a little bit. You all were spirited about this.
You got Wemby? That's what you said, big bro? You got Wemby?
Well, he has a little margin of error. You got to stay healthy. But if he stays healthy and they jump ahead, yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Wendy.
Okay, so I'm not saying anything bad about your guy, Jaylen Brown.
You don't even know what I was going to say.
I am not campaigning against any player because I just don't believe in that when it comes to the MVP. Look, I got Shea, and I know Shea hadn't played 9 games. And I know if he misses like another 9, he's going to be invalidated. Mm-hmm. But when he's been out there, the guy has been absolutely killer. Now, I had Jokic as my MVP in December. I voted him 3rd in this most recent straw poll that we had because he doesn't look right to me. There is room to move up past Jokic on my ballot because I'm not blaming him because I just think he's not 100%. He missed 17 shots last night, bro. Jokic doesn't miss 17 shots in weeks. Like he plays 4 games, doesn't miss 17 shots. So look, if you're Jaylen Brown, if you're Victor Wembanyama, you can rise up. Like it is definitely fluid, but to me, I still got number 2.
Well, let me say this. Winning and also the production and the story, okay? Jaylen Brown reminds me this season of NBA Youngboy, okay? NBA Youngboy. You know why? You know why? Because he's an independent artist and he's not with the industry. And if that makes sense to you, let me break it down to you. He's not a guy that you see around. You turn on the TV and he's on commercials. He's not beloved like that. His delivery and when you go to watch him, it's word of mouth. So that means his production is louder than everybody else's. When everybody else is going right, he's going left. And every single night, I feel like he's walking into arenas, not inside Boston, and he's a villain, right? And so when you think about what Jaylen Brown is doing, no all-stars on his team. Every other MVP candidate got an all-star, not Jaylen Brown. And so when you think about how he's doing more with less, coming into the season, they win total preseason was maxed at, what, 41?
Sure.
Name me a better story.
This is a compelling argument. And Perk, this argument may get more compelling. It's a compelling argument.
Well,
it's not unreasonable.
And right now, the conversation, when you're talking about Victor, when you're talking about Nikola, and then SGA to a lesser degree, he has a little bit more margin for error here. Those are two players that are in the top 5 in the MVP race that are on a razor's edge when it comes to games played and still being available to even be considered. Jaylen Brown is well within the qualifications right now to be able to do so. This could come down to the wire. Let's go coast to coast, so on some action from around the league. This we can settle now. The MVP discussion may have to wait. Let's start in H-Town. Reed Shepherd, career-high 7 threes for him. Alperen Şengün had his 3rd triple-double of the season. The Rockets obliterated the Kings. Perk, how much do you love seeing this from Şengün?
Well, look, when the Kings in town, damn it, it's time to get your feet on the ground. Your confidence is going to go up. But look, any win right now, any type of chemistry moment for the Rockets is great going into the postseason. So long as they continue to develop and get guys' confidence and get on the same page, I love it, especially from Şengün.
Let's go to the other side of this one, to the Kings, because DeMar DeRozan, he scored 15 points. He moved into the top 20 all-time career points. He passed Paul Pierce and John Havlicek. Mr. Spears, you're a Hall of Famer. Is he?
I think he's going to push himself up the list. He's with 1,000 more points. He'll be in the top 15. The problem is he has Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook ahead of him. Chris Paul and LeBron have been his mentor in terms of being healthy and longevity. Yeah, if you're in the top 15, you have to be in.
All right, well, certainly something.
Also a gold medal
on there, absolutely. The Cavaliers, though, they're missing Mitchell, Mobley, and James Harden last night, but they came this close to forcing overtime. Jared Allen, he had the tip in, but it was just after the buzzer. We're going to show it here in a second. Brian, how concerned are you about the Harden injury?
Apparently not, because James doesn't seem that concerned about it. You know, it's a broken bone. Players who have this injury in the past typically miss, a few weeks, but I think he's going to try to play in Detroit tomorrow night. He's going to play through it. He has a reputation of that, and I'm going to put some respect on the Bucks' name. Bucks have won 8 out of 10.
Yeah, they are 8-2 over their last 10 games. They have the best field goal percentage, too, Brian, in the NBA over that span. Milwaukee averaging nearly 70 points a game on pick plays thanks to Kevin Porter Jr., Ryan Rollins, and Jericho Sims trying to keep that play in. Nice, they're on ESPN twice this week, and they have played the toughest schedule in the NBA since the All-Star break. And still, they managed to win 3 of those 4 games. And after their game against Cleveland, that's tomorrow right here on ESPN, Detroit, they start a 3-game road trip in Orlando. They play Cleveland again. And then one that we all have circled, San Antonio. And Big Perk, I heard there's someone that you think is standing on, what are they standing on again?
This my camera.
That's going to be your camera.
Standing on business. Perkins, John, you better stand on business. Stand on business. Hell yeah, we standing on business today. Standing on business. Raise that damn camera up. Don't put too much attention on them shoes. I know they love it, but we're going to put this attention right here on this young man, Jalen Duren, or should I say this grown-ass man that stood on business last night but has been standing on business all season long. When you talk about being a guy that get buckets by doing what he do best, and that's being physical, setting hard screens, rolling to the basket, I want you to look at this possession right here. Gets a putback off an offensive rebound, his own miss, anchoring the defense, going chase that down, blocked it with the left hand. Then look at him again, a space eater. Set a screen, roll to the basket, always hanging around the rim, and there's a monster on the offensive glass. Finish that. Jalen Duren is really taking that leap. Wendy, we talked about him setting screens. Look at this great pick he set on Luke Dortz last night. Get the screen, roll, nice little spin with the finesse, good English on the ball for the layup. This man has been a monster. It's a reason that he's one of the reasons why I have the Pistons coming out of the Eastern Conference because him and Cade Cunningham has looked like the best duo in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, when you look at those numbers, it's easy to see why. And Mark Spears, you have a story on Jalen Duren that's coming out on Anscape tomorrow. What stood out to you about that conversation that you had with him?
Well, I asked him about their first-round exit against the New York Knicks, and it's just too nightmarish for him to even watch it. He hasn't watched it yet. He said he just plays it over and over in his head. That being said, he feels like this team doesn't have to pay dues. They're ready to win a championship, and to me, he said, it might sound crazy, but we are looking to win a championship. We're not looking to wait. We feel we have the guys, we have the coaching staff, we have the mentality, the play style to do so, and we're trying to go get it. In order for them to go get it, obviously Cade Cunningham is going to have to lead them that way, but also Jalen Duren, he's basically their number 2 option. Talked to J.B. Bickerstaff about that. He agreed. And when you look at Jalen Duren, his last 3 games, he's averaged like around 27 points a game, which is outstanding for the All-Star. And I think if the Pistons are going to really compete for a championship as he expects, Jalen Duren has to be an offensive force, Robin to Cade's Batman.
That's really great reporting. I don't know that it sounds crazy to have that mentality. You should have that mentality when you've been a number 1 seed, when you've had the best record in the league. But history is going to say, hey, hold on, young fellas. Usually you need to get there before you get there. Right, Brian?
Yeah, so first off, I didn't think last season was like a scar for the Pistons. I thought they did great. I thought they won a play-in game, and they pushed the Knicks to pretty much the max, 6 games. But you know, that's why you guys are competitors and you're a champion. Like, to me, I'm not stressed out about the Pistons having to win this year. Like, to me, the organization could have gone out and made big additions at the trade deadline, but they said, let's just let this thing breathe a little bit. They don't feel the pressure to win. To me, they remind me of what I call the finish your breakfast Thunder, which was 2 years ago. They won 57 games. They got to the second round, and when they lost, they went out and traded for Alex Caruso, signed Hartenstein, won the title the next year. To me, that's the track that they're on. But obviously, Jalen Duren and Cade Cunningham want it to be known. They're trying to win it all right now.
I actually love this. I love this. I love young fellas, young franchise guys saying this. You should want to win the championship, and you should believe that you and your squad could go win it. I remember when Dwight Howard got drafted by the Orlando Magic, and Doc Rivers came in. He told a story, and he was like, they had an article because, you know, Doc obviously had a house in Orlando, you know, right on the golf course, obviously, because he loved the golf. But he told a story. He showed us a newspaper article, and he said, look at what Dwight Howard said as a rookie. He said, I want to win the championship right now. Why wouldn't you? Like, that age stuff and how young you are, like, no matter what our beliefs are, I want to hear that. I want to hear you speak that into existence. Here's the question I have to ask to you guys is this. I just broke down the film. He's not, when I look at Jalen Duren, I don't believe that he's a bona fide number 2 option because I didn't see a lot of plays being ran for him yesterday, meaning post-ups, here you go. Like, they don't feature him like they would feature a Jokic or an Embiid. So it got to come from other areas, don't you think?
Yeah, I'm not saying he can't do this ever, but he's generally a guy who doesn't get his own shot.
Right.
It's set up for him. And by the way, he gets his own shot by getting rebounds and putting it back up.
Not a lot of big men do, though, right?
Correct. And so that's what, if there's a criticism of the Pistons, it's that they don't have, beyond Cade, that guy who can create shots for other guys.
Right.
In a playoff setting, when he gets trapped.
Especially in the half court, yeah.
That is, and by the way, that doesn't mean they can't overcome.
And one thing I like about him, too, he gets on, for a big fella, you know, just like Perk used to, man, he get on that break and finish with the dunks.
An all-star game in years. Anthony Edwards, he really stole the show less than 2 weeks ago here in Los Angeles. He won the MVP of that re-energized game. I know it's partly the format, but really it's guys who decided to compete. However, there are some notes about All-Star Saturday night. Damian Lillard, awesome, competed, won his 3rd three-point contest. And then there was still some criticisms of the dunk contest, right? So now all eyes, they turn to Phoenix, the site of the All-Star game for 2027. And Suns Governor Matt Ishbia, he recently offered up a couple of thoughts that he has on how to improve the festivities to our friend Pat McAfee.
You're going to put $1 million up for the winner and then $1 million donation to a charity of their choice.
Done.
For the slam dunk winner.
Let's get the best guys in it. Let's make it awesome.
Okay, and then the three-point shooting contest. We're doing $1 million to the winner, $1 million to the charity.
Hey, let's do it. Pat McAfee show, we're in on it with. Let's do it.
Okay. Yeah, good negotiation right there.
I'm in. Let's do it. Let's get everyone
Let's
there.
go.
Boom.
Let's do this.
I love the excitement from Pat, the let's do this, but can they do this, Brian? Like, isn't there rules about owners paying players that aren't on their team? Is this actually possible?
Womp, womp.
Oh, no.
I hate
Not
to
the
be
womp,
bearer.
womp.
No, he's not allowed to do this. It would be... It's not, it'd be like sort of tampering and against the league rules. That said, I love the energy because I want there to be incentive to get guys. We have Victor saying he's going to do it.
Right.
I have an idea, by the way. If they can't do money, which they probably could, these got to change the rules. I think if you compete at one of those contests, you should get a bonus game in the 65-game rule.
Oh.
Just like you do for playing the NBA Cup. Some of these guys want to make these teams. It sometimes comes down to it. It's an extra night of work. That's what I say.
I love your idea, but it's not going to work. we live in a great country of the United States. The only thing that moves the needle is money. That's the only thing that moves the needle. And so in order to get the dunk contest where we're trying to go, I actually agree with Matt Ishbia, and I agree that it's against the rules from your point, but that was just kind of the mere warning shot or a signal to the NBA.
Set the agenda.
Yeah, set the agenda.
Yeah.
Because if we want the big-name guys, think about this. They playing hard for $500,000 in the in-season tournament.
And Ishbia also said that the prize would include some money for charity as well. And you know what else? Competition begets competition.
I wonder if I can enter it. I got a non-profit.
That I would pay $1 million. I don't have that type of budget, but I would pay to see that. Hey, it's only February the 22nd, though, 26th rather, so we have plenty of time to figure that out. But Perk, do you happen to know 3 years ago on February 26th what happened?
I don't know what happened yesterday.
Well, it was Damian Lillard going off here for 71
Just enjoy
points.
these highlights because this was some awesome stuff.
It really was.
Logo Lillard pulls up once again from deep.
He had the internet going crazy. I think KD he said something, he tweeted something like, this is art at its finest.
It was. This is Picasso with
Uh-oh,
brush.
you see what just happened? The 2K fire ring.
Yeah, the fire ring is now activated for Damian Lillard. Pulls up.
Oh, my
again.
God, that doesn't go in.
You got to guard him as soon as he crosses half court. He had 41 points, by the way, in the first half, 8 threes, and they were up 15 at the break here. Now we're well into the third.
Go under that screen again. Go under that screen again.
See, what I love is that it was a 20-point game and Dame stayed in it because they're like, you know what, we're going to...
Perk, watch this. Watch this, Perk. He had like 15 threes and he also threw it down.
Throwing down a massive dunk. By the way, and one on that. And then he gets it, dribble.
Go under the screen again. What are we doing?
7 points, 22 field goals, including 13 threes. His teammates celebrating him afterward. It's well-deserved. The Blazers, of course, won that game. This is interesting, though. This season, we've had 11 different players drop a 50-piece, including 2 from Nikola Jokic. No surprise there. By the way, he also had that 56-point game against Minnesota on Christmas. That is still the highest-scoring game by any player this season. But remember when we were talking all the time about guys, they were getting 60 all the time. They were touching 70. Well, the NBA, they've now gone a full season without a 60-point performance. Last time they did that was 2014-15. So, Perk, who do you think the next player
Wemby. Wemby.
All right.
Wemby. I believe because it's the mixture. You know that he's going to eventually have 5 to 8 dunks. You know that in the game.
He's 5x5.
Yeah, he's going to have that. And then, but when he gets hot from the three-point line, what did he do against the Lakers a few weeks ago in the
Plus,
first
he
quarter?
makes his free throws. So you got to hit threes. So I'm looking at guys like Ant. I'm looking at guys like Tyrese Maxey. And look, this is not going to happen this year, okay? But if you're talking about somebody who could maybe do it in the future, may I offer up a guy who could knock down some threes, Malika? How about Con Knipple II? Because that dude, first off, there's stories out there of 70-point AAU games, and I know it ain't the NBA, but you know you're sitting down 3. So I'm just saying, not this year, but down the line, Perk, couldn't you see this guy knocking down 15
not the full
threes
government name in order to make sure that you
Because
get that
I want everybody to remember I said it. Actually, his middle name is the second.
Con the
Con
second
Knipple, if you want to believe Wikipedia.
Con the